It's a pleasure to be here today to introduce Jackie Reyes-Yanes. She's heads an office of Mayor's Office of Community Affairs, overseeing 14 offices that expand the representation of Washington, D.C., the whole bill of Washington, D.C. She has got a long relationship with the community. She was appointed by another good friend of mine that's not with us anymore, is Jim Graham. It's just a pleasure to have her, and we're lucky as a Latino community to have someone like this represent us. She has awarded over $18 million in grants to community-based organizations through the city. She's been responsible for that. I mean, that's an accomplishment. Get $18 million from the city in the time that the city's not there. Thank you for that. Recognized by Tiempo Latino paper, the Metro Hispanic Contractors Association. She is committed to the culture, the business, the equality of the service. So we'll help me welcome her. She's a great asset to our community.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. I want to acknowledge the Hispanic month, and especially now, one thing that I was telling my communications department is like, oh, they used to say Happy Hispanic Heritage Month, and it's nothing to celebrate or happy during these times now, especially what are we going through. And I like to say that because now more than ever is our sisterhood and brotherhood that we are sticking together. And it's beautiful to see our brothers and sisters from other cultures to come out and speak up for us. So I would like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. But this is me. In my official capacity, the Mayor's Office on Community Affairs. What do we do and what are we here for? And something that you said, Max, lead and they will follow. So the Mayor's Office on Latino Affairs was the first office in 1976. It was constituted. And then from there, all of the offices were born. So you always do the pathways. We are the Mayor's Office. This is the slide that we have, our mission, the areas that we cover, the support areas, the grant piece that I think that you could benefit from this, and the agencies and language access. Everything that we do, we have 5 by law. We have to, and my Jim Graham, that I used to work for him, he passed the Language Access Act that everything has to be translated in 5 different languages. So we want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. And the district advisory committees and meet the team. This is, I don't know if you know this lady. This is African-American woman who has been elected, re-elected, and re-elected 3 times. And I always like to say that now in this time, some people may have different opinions, but she has been the only African-American woman in the nation to hold being re-elected. And then she's a Washingtonian, and I feel proud to be working by her side. That is me, Jackie Reyes-Yanes, and I was appointed by the mayor in 2015. But prior to that, I used to work for Mayor Fenty, and then Councilmember Jim Graham. So I have been here for almost 20 years, and I will be retiring in 2 weeks. So 20 years plus, and it has been Salvadorian. If you know 10 Latinos in the district, do you know 10 Latinos? Raise you have friends that are Latinos? Okay. If you see 10 Latinos, 8 of them are from El Salvador. So, and I say this, we are the biggest Latino community in the district. So the mayor went to El Salvador in 2017, and we had the sister cities, and she ate a pupusa. Do you know what a pupusa is? The national dish. And we broke history last year. We built a pupusa 20 feet in front of the Capitol. We're a Guinness. So we're making waves also with the pupusas. And I was the first Salvadorian to lead the Mayor's Office on Latino Affairs. My father migrated from El Salvador during the Civil War. And I was telling Daniel that I have my story with the Kennedys. My dad was in love with Jacqueline Kennedy, and he said, "I'm gonna take my daughter out of this country," and he named me Jackie. That's where my name came from. So, and when I came in 1990, my dad said, "Marjorie, my name is Jacqueline Marjorie." Do you imagine that from El Salvador with that name? But he came, and the first thing we saw, and it was because of Reagan also. He got his green card, and I came via the amnesty that happened during 1986. He said, "This is your city now." I was 12 years old, and he said, "You're gonna make me proud," right? And back back forward, I am leading the mayor's office on Latino Affairs that felt Salvadorian. Do you imagine? He had a vision. Yes. COVID happened, and the mayor was like, I was so scared. And I was telling the mayor, if I'm scared, could you imagine people that they don't speak the language? So I took the decision not to close the office. And I was doing the vaccines, and we were making sure that people had masks. We gave grants to people to make masks for undocumented people. So we were putting the tables also. And then the mayor like, I want you to do the same thing you did with the Latino Affairs to do it with all of the other 14 offices. So that's what it made me the first Latina leading this office and making sure that we had a place at the table that it doesn't matter who you choose to love, how you look, do you have documentation. My job is to make sure that you're connected to services and also, yes, bike lanes and potholes are part of that. But that is a little bit why we do what we do in the mayor's office on community affairs. This is us. It changes every minute because things happen. African American affairs, clean city, religious affairs, Caribbean affairs, and I know that you guys you have a face sheet, and so please do not hesitate to contact us. The mayors always like to tell everybody, work us until the wheels come off. Okay, so don't be shy away from making us accountable. Responsibility, right? And making us responsible to carry the city. So our main job is connecting people with services, especially if you are from a special identity community. And this is our areas of focus because we have to have an order, right? We have to be organized. The growth agenda. After the COVID, we took a hit, downtown took a hit. So we are making sure that people are coming back. We used to have a lot of tourists, and now we saw we have World Pride that came out. It was one of my office, the mayor's office on LGBTQ, that we hosted World Pride here. The mayor does a good job promoting Washington, D.C. and also clean and safe communities, even though that MPD is working with other federal agencies, we still be held accountable. If you see an officer that is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, we can complain. And I tell my people, because we have worked so much during the rise in 1991 when a rookie officer shot a person during Cinco de Mayo, because in Mount Pleasant, we worked so hard to create a trust with MPD. And now for years in the officer, we have a good relationship with the officers. And I tell everybody when I have a microphone and I speak in front of people, you have to know your rights, right? And our right is to combat, to fight crime, not to be agents of ICE. So we have to make sure that we are doing what we need to be doing. And our job that people understand their rights. And education. We are good. The mayor has done, and I don't know if you grew up in DC. I grew up in DC. And I remember that the schools were not open on time, never. And then Adrian Fenty had a vision, and he said that he was going to change the school. We got them under the mayor's, under the mayor. We changed it. Now it's like, ACs, little technical things that we have, but not always open up on time. So education is a big part of our area. And books. Oh my God, yes. So we do language accessibility and grant making. And this is case management. And what is the next thing I cannot see from here? Cultural recommendations. Yes, we gotta be cultural right. We gotta be making sure that we're meeting people where people are, and it's that's our job. This is our grants. We have all of the grants that we did into 225, and we're every time. Please check our website because there's always coming up. Like right now, we had the returning citizens. They're opening like we can pay for people to hire returning citizens, but for all the different areas, we make sure that we touch everybody in Washington D.C. through our grant programs. And this is everything that all through all the offices and the publics, in the areas that we cover. Language accessibility, like I said, we make sure that, and I used to tell everybody when I was the mayor's office on Latino Affairs, if the mayor spoke, his second brief had to be in Spanish. Now his second brief got to be in the other languages that are in my offices that I'm in charge of my offices. So we make sure that we have also translation for the deaf and blind and the ASL. We are everywhere, and I like numbers, but I also like to make sure that people knows where we at. So by word, those are the events that my offices have hosted for the past year, for the last year. We have also, if you guys want to be a part of our team, you have a chance to have in any of these offices, you can be a part of the advisory committee. And I love to I always like to hear what people are saying, how can we do a better job in government? And this is the one place that you can start on. And this is our team, very diverse. I'm very proud of our team. Is one thing that the mayor, he said that the Washington Post wrote this, that the mayor has run it herself with activists, and most of these directors are very activist and they're very foot on the ground. That's it. My name is Jackie Reyes-Yanes, and that's my contact. And mil gracias.
Anyone want to start the questions?
Hey, Jackie.
Hi, Kenny.
How you been, Jackie?
I'm awesome. I'm glad to hear from you.
Yeah, it's been a few years. I just want to say that people don't know the warrior part of you. I remember when we used to campaign together, and one thing that you and I worked on together was that Latinos and African Americans should be working together, not be separate. And we had a big protest about that one time, and I was supporting you that time. But that's what I want people to know about you too as well, that you are a warrior.
Thank you.
You said you were retiring.
Yes.
So I guess the obvious question is what's next for you? And since you are a recent resident of Ward 1, why don't you run for council versus being the Dell? We could use an ally against on the council versus the likes of Brianna Dell. Comment, please. They tell you this is a tough crowd.
It is a tough crowd. I am a product of World 1. I came to World 1. My dad bought the first house, his house that he still owns on Oak Street. And I'm now on Harbor Street. And Jim Graham, and I know he so I will be making an announcement and I will make sure that you get there. Okay.
Jackie, we make a number of global grants, not global grants, but community grants every year for the community, about average of 30 plus of those. And I noticed you have an extensive number of grants that you're making in the community. And I don't know, President Donnie, if we're actually making this list that we're doing with Todd Miller and his co-chair, but it sounds like we need to be making that list available in public with the city council and in Jackie's office. But anyway, Jackie, I just let's see if there's a way that we can complement what you're doing with your grants that will actually even empower the funds that you're expending even more into the community. And thank you for being here. And Max, thank you for that great introduction.
Yes. There's always room for improvement. And we can also, we have a cycle at our fiscal year already that's already have been out, but we have off cycles, and we can always, whenever you guys ready, we're here to work.
Thank you so much for being with us today. A wonderful talk. Speaking of the community and ICE, how are you getting along with the National Guard, and what are you hearing from your communities with regard to what's going on?
Yes, we are very vigilant in making sure that we work with our partners, with our community-based organizations. We have a program called CLEAR, where we have access to lawyers. And if people get detained and they live in DC, we make sure that they're connected. And the other big thing is that our kids feel safe. So we are working with our community-based organizations, with parents, and with our allies. We walk our kids to school. We make sure that they are not threatened to go around schools. And I think that they have been a few cases, but my office is the soft touch. All my offices are soft touch. So we have become a household name, and people call us, when things happen in the community. Most likely we will know about it, and then we will make sure that through our community-based organizations, with our grantees, or people knows. But more important is knowing their rights, right? Their rights to know when there has been a lot of confusion because people are being taken away there, like all of this, the National Guard, FBI, ICE, so people don't know where they were taking them. But we just make sure that our allies that take pictures, and we are working with our community-based organizations. And I just ask you, we're going to have a parade, Fiesta DC, and I will invite you, and you can do something, right? And come out with us and show that we are together. September 27th and the 28th. And that will be a good way for you guys to come out and support us.
Yeah, I just want to make clear, I think Sam's question was good and entertaining. So we do, and some of the Latino communities that we support and give grants to, the same thing. We've been doing it for years, and it's just great to have you here. And we can do whatever we need, and we should partner to more. We'd like for you to do is to help us get more Latinos into this club. That's what we'd like for you to do.
Okay.
That's what you could do.
Ain't no free ride.
Yeah, no free ride, but maybe I'll become a member because Brian who left, and Jenny Hara was a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And the great work. And I was telling Brian that in El Salvador, I was invited. There's a carnival, El Carnaval de San Miguel. A big carnival is huge. Like, have you been to the Rio de Janeiro? The carnival? Well, see, but and I was invited to be in the Rotary Club float, and it was huge. And it was Rotary, and then Brian was telling me that you guys are in every city, and I'm like, I believe you, because in that float they have Rotary members from Panama, Colombia, Brazil. It was a trailer. But I will make sure that we need to be at the table. And this is what I tell my kids and everybody, that, I'm always looking for my replacement. Who's going to take, who's going to replace me. And that's what we need to do. Encourage our young Latinos to be here, and then for us to lead the way, and then for them to create pathways for them to make sure that they're in. But we have newsletters, we have social media. Please send that our way. Follow me on Instagram, Jackie Reyes DC, so I'll make sure that I share. I have a WhatsApp group also that I share all of this information. So send it, and it will be shared.
Do it.
Done.
And you have.
That's an easy one.
So we have a badge to pin on you.
Okay.
I get the help of Max.
You might as well call yourself a Rotarian when you leave this luncheon today.
But send me the application. Or what it was.
And I got plenty of witnesses.
Okay.
We sure will. We will follow up.
Oh,
You're gonna get a tree planted in your name down in the Tyson Fire Basin.
wow.
And
That is such a cool thing.
you want